We're going to do a little quiz review here so that you can look at your scores from the quiz and understand why you got the score that you got. The first problem is x squared plus 8x plus 15, 6x squared plus 36x all times 2x squared minus 8x over x squared plus x minus 20. I am going to take these two right here, and I'm going to factor those two using Xbox. And the reason that I know that those two can be factored using Xbox is because they are in this form. Standard form of a quadratic equation, in this case expression, because there's not an equal sign. A is 1, so A times C is 1 times 15, which is 15. B is 8. What two numbers multiply to equal 15 and add together to equal 8? That's 5 and 3. The x squared goes in the top left. The 15 goes in the bottom right. And I can put this 5 and 3 in either of the two boxes because it's the 5 and 3 together that makes the 8. So that leaves me with x here, x there, 5 here, 3 there. My factors are x plus 5 times x plus 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now replace that here. And we'll take the other one, x squared plus x minus 20, and do the same thing. That's really a 1. 1 times negative 20 is negative 20. That's really a 1. So A times C is negative 20. B is 1. What factors of 20 can add or subtract to equal 1? Well, 5 and 4. And it's going to have to be a negative 4 because 5 minus 4 equals 1. So let's put that over here in the box. There's my x squared. There's my negative 20. Doesn't matter where I put these. So I got x times x, negative 4, positive 5. That leaves me with x plus 5, x minus 4. I'm going to substitute that in right here. Sorry, I just need to let the computer catch up. So I've now factored 2 parts, and I need to factor the other 2 parts. So I am going to take these two, and because they are not like this, I'm not going to use Xbox. 6x squared plus 36x, which is really 6xx plus 36x. 2x squared minus 8x, which is really 2xx minus 8x. And let's work on this one over here on the left side first. What can both of those be divided by? They can both be divided by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and I still have the 2 x's. 36 divided by 6 is 6, and I still have the x. What do they both have in common? They both have 1x. So I'm going to divide by 1x. Now yes, this one does have 2, but this one doesn't have 2. So the only thing they have in common is 1. So this x right here divides with this one right here. All I'm left with is x. Remember, I don't have to write the 1. This x right here divides with this x right here. All I'm left with is 6. So what have I factored out? I factored out 6x. What's left inside? X plus 6. Let's replace that. Same thing over here, except over here, I'm going to do it a little bit quicker. They can both be divided by 2, and they both have an x. They can both be divided by 2, and they both have an x. So if I divide this into this, all that's left is that. And if I do 8 divided by 2, I've got -4, and the x's cancel out. So what did I factor out? I factored out 2x, and left inside is x minus 4. Take that back to the original problem. Now there's one more thing that I am going to do, because everything up here is prime. This is prime, it can't be factored anymore. That's prime, it can't be factored anymore. 2 is prime, it can't be factored. X is prime, it can't be factored. Prime, prime, all of these are prime, except for 6. 6 is not prime. 6 is a composite number. It can be factored. So I'm going to take 6, and instead of writing 6, I'm going to factor it into 2 times 3. And what that does is that allows me to see that when I start canceling, this 2 right here cancels with this 2 right there. What else can cancel? X plus 5 and x plus 5. What else can cancel? This x and this x. What else can cancel? X minus 4 and x minus 4. And what are the only things I'm left with? On top, this is canceled, that's canceled, that's canceled, that's canceled. This has not. On the bottom, this is canceled, this is canceled, the x is canceled, the 2 is canceled, the 3 has not, the x plus 6 has not. That's my answer right there. I cannot simplify that answer anymore. That's my answer in its simplest form. That's number 1. Let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 says 12x squared y over 30xy squared times 42xyz over 50x squared y squared z squared. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take 12, 30, 42, and 50 and do the prime factorization. I'm going to do these rather quickly. Since the video is on YouTube, at any time you want, you can go back and watch it again. Factoring 12. 12 is 6 times 2. 6 is 2 times 3. Those are all prime. Factoring 30. 30 is 6 times 5. 6 is 2 times 3. Those are all prime. 42. 6 times 7. 2 times 3. Those are all prime. 50, 2 times 25, 5 and 5. Those are all prime. So I'm going to go back to the original problem, and instead of writing 12, I'm going to write 2 times 2 times 3. Instead of writing 30, I'm going to write 2 times 3 times 5. The prime factorization of the number. This right here is exactly equal to this right here, just written a little bit differently. So 30 was 2 times 3 times 5, x, y, y. 42, 2 times 3 times 7, x, y, z. 50, 2 times 5 times 5, x, x, y, y, z, z. And let's cancel and see what we're left with. 2 cancels with the 2. 3 cancels with the 3. 2 cancels with the 2. What else do we got? X cancels with an X. Y cancels with a Y. What do we got over here? Y cancels with a Y. X cancels with an X. Z cancels with a Z. Anything else that I can cancel? Oh, I do have something else. There's an X here and an X here. That cancels with that. And I think that may be it. So what's left on the top? I got a 2, a 3, and a 7. 2 times 3 is 6, times 7 is 42. What's left on the bottom? I got a 5, a Y, a 5, a 5, a Y, and a Z. 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. Y times Y, Y squared, Z. There's the answer. Excuse me. That's the answer in its most simplified form.